sabhajayan arya anagya sarabhaginaha yatra sankirtane naiva sarvasvarta vilabhyate kalim sabhajayantyarya gunagya sarabhaginaha yatra sankirtane naiva sarvasvarto vilabhyate
Kalim Savajayanti Arya Gunagya Sarabhagina Yatra Sankirtan Neneva Sarvasvarto Vilabhyate Kalim Savajayanti Arya Gunagya Sarabhagina Yatra Sankirtanaiva Sarvasvarto Vilabhyate Kalim Savajayanti Arya Gunagya Sarabhagina Yatra Sankirtanaiva Sarvasvarto Vilabhyate.
All right. Please repeat after me. Kalim. The age of Kali. Sabhajayanti. They praise. Aryaha. Progressive souls. Gunagyaha. Who know the true value of the age. Sarabhaginaha. Who are able to pick out the essence. Yatra. In which. Sankirtanena. By the congregational chanting of the holy names of the Supreme Lord. Eva? Merely. Sarva. All. Swartaha. Desired goals. Abhilabhyate. Are attained. Translation and purport by disciples of his divine graces. Those who are actually advanced in knowledge are able to appreciate the essential value of this age of Kali. Such enlightened persons worship Kali Yuga because in this fallen age all perfection of life can easily be achieved by the performance of Sankirtan. Purport. It is stated here that among the four ages, Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali, Kali Yuga is actually the best because in this age the Lord mercifully distributes the highest perfection of consciousness, namely Krishna consciousness, very freely. The word Arya has been defined by Srila Prabhupada as one who is advancing spiritually. The nature of an advanced person is to search for the essence of life. For example, the essence of the material body is not the body itself, but the spirit soul that is within the body. Therefore, an intelligent person gives more attention to the eternal spirit soul than to the temporary body. Similarly, although Kali Yuga is considered to be an ocean of contamination, there is also an ocean of good fortune in Kali Yuga, namely the Sankirtan movement. In other words, all of the degraded qualities of this age are completely counteracted by the process of chanting the holy names of the Lord. Thus it is stated in the Vedic language, Yayam krite idam yagais tretayam dvapare shayam yad apnoti tad apnoti kalau sankritya keshalam. Whatever is achieved in Satya Yuga by meditation, in Treta by offering ritual sacrifices, and in Dwapara by temple worship is achieved in Kali Yuga by chanting the names of Lord Keshava congregationally. The Vedic process gradually lifts the conditioned entity out of the darkness of ahankara, or false identification with the gross material body, and brings him to the platform of self-realization, or Aham Brahmasmi. I am spirit soul, I am eternal. One has to make further progress to discover that although one is eternal, there is a superior eternal entity, who is the Lord himself within one's heart and within every atom in the material universe. Beyond this second phase of self-realization, there is the third and final stage of perfection, which is realization of Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his own abode. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not primarily the superintendent of this world, but rather the enjoyer of his own world, which is beyond the most fantastic dreams of the conditioned living entity. In other words, although the king or president of a country is ultimately the controller of the prison department, the king or president derives actual pleasure with his own palace and not in administrating justice to the foolish prisoners. Similarly, the Lord appoints the demigods to administer the material creation on his behalf, while he himself personally enjoys the ocean of transcendental bliss in his own transcendental kingdom. Thus, realization of the Lord within his own kingdom is far superior to the primitive understanding that the Lord is the creator of the prison of the material world. This realization of Bhagavan begins with understanding that there are innumerable Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky, and that on each of them a particular expansion of Narayan dwells with his innumerable devotees who are attached to that particular form. The central and chief planet in the spiritual sky is called Krishna Loka, and there the personality of Godhead exhibits his supreme and original form of Govinda, as confirmed by Lord Brahma, Govinda Maripusham Tamaham Bhajami. Lord Brahma also states, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Adi Govinda Sarvakarana. Thus, love of Krishna and entrance into Krishna's planet in the spiritual sky is the most supremely perfect and exalted status of life available anywhere at any time, throughout the totality of existence. That perfection is available in Kali Yuga simply by chanting the holy names of God. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Therefore, every sane man, woman, and child should deeply understand that the unprecedented opportunity offered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and seriously take up this chanting process. Only the most unfortunate and irrational person will neglect this transcendental opportunity. Purport. Om Jnanativrandasya Jnananjanashlaka Chakshurvanmalitamena Tasma Shri Guru Mahamukam Parivataram Bhangamaham Vaitagrim Yakripatamaham Bande Shri Guru Nirkarim Pancha Yudhishta Kripa Sindhu Vircha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Right, one more time, the translation. Those who are actually advanced in knowledge are able to appreciate the essential value of this age of Kali. Such enlightened persons worship Kali Yuga because in this fallen age all perfection of life can easily be achieved by the performance of Sankirtan. So this particular verse comes in chapter Narada's teachings to Vasudeva. And Narada Muni, he met Vasudeva, Krishna's father, in Dwarka. And Narada Muni, he explained an ancient conversation between Maharaj Nimi and Navayogendras, these nine sages. And they asked nine questions were asked by Maharaj Nimi. And these 9 sages, they answered the 9 questions. They each took a turn. So one of the questions they asked was about the different incarnations of Krishna. They asked also, what is the highest good? Anyways, they asked a number of questions, but the question that this particular section is dealing with is the question of the different incarnations of Krishna. So, within these verses, the verses before this one we just read, it describes the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is considered to be a hidden avatar, or hidden incarnation of Krishna, not so well known. And it says that for those who are intelligent, they worship Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Here, there's the... It said, in this age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting of the holy names like we were just doing. We do every Sunday, and we could do every day. So worshiping, and they worship incarnation of God who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, Krishna's right, blackish, bluish like a rain cloud, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So this is one prediction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And there's other predictions. There's predictions in the Mahabharata and the Vishnu Sahasranam and other authoritative scriptures. So the chanting of the holy names is being glorified in this particular verse as the process for this age of Kali, and it's being said in this verse that those who are advanced in knowledge, they appreciate the essential value of this age. They worship this age of Kali. So this is very important, that people, or that transcendentalists or Krishna devotees, they are meant to be paramahamsas. So what does it mean to be a paramahamsa?
Take the essence.
Take the essence, yes. He said take the milk out of the water. How do you do that? That seems very difficult. If someone gives you a glass of water with some milk in it, how are you supposed to take out the milk? Very challenging, right? The swan has that ability. It could, if there's milk in a pond of water, a swan can take out that milk and leave the water. And how does a swan do that? One devotee friend of mine, he actually investigated this. He looked it up. Because there's certain things like this. For example, like they say that if a parrot bites a fruit, that fruit becomes more sweet. That's what it says in the Bhagavatam. Like Shukadeva Goswami, right? Or devotees repeating the Bhagavatam, it becomes more sweet. So, one devotee in Vrindavan, he saw a parrot, one Prabhupada disciple told me, he saw a parrot come and take a bite of a fruit, so he wanted to test this. So, taste it and test it. So, he went and he got that fruit and he tasted it, made some comparison, and it was sweeter. But anyways, this devotee was wanting to know how a swan separates milk from water. So apparently what happens is the swan has particular enzymes in their mouth that they take the water, and what happens is the enzymes that are in the mouth of that swan curdles the milk. And then once the milk is curdled, then it spits out the water, and then takes the curdled milk. Anyways, that's what he found out. So we're meant to be Paramahamsas. You don't have to do that literally, but Paramahamsas in the sense that we're meant to seek the essence of things, not be absorbed on a superficial level or on a shallow level. So, in a shallow sense or in a superficial sense, this age is the worst age. Just look around in the world, check the news, or don't check the news. But it's very disturbing, right? There's economic crisis, there's environmental crisis, there's political crisis. They call it like polycrisis. There's so many happening at a time, they're just crossing each other. And especially people who are between 14 and 30, somehow the people under 14 and the people over 30 are not as worried, but especially people who are statistics, Stanford and other such places, they've done statistics, and especially people between 14 and 30 are very worried about the future. What's going to happen? Is the world going to implode, explode? What's going to happen? They're very fearful. I mean, even to the point, I mean, a lot of, say it, but a natural pleasure, a natural happiness that people, yeah, we see humans, they have, is that they want to have a family. They want to have children. There's proof here, right? There's 2 children. They want to have family, they want to have children, but people between these age ranges, 14 and 30, they're thinking, should I really bring children into this world? What's going to happen? So there are so many problems. And it's said to be like an ocean of faults. You can't measure it. So it's true. But what's this verse is saying that, although in one sense, you could maybe say it's the worst age, but this particular verse is saying it's the best age. And that learned persons, what do? They worship this age of Kali. Is it considered worshipable? You think, oh, I don't know if it's considered worshipable, at least in relation to other ages, but it says learned persons worship it. So we shouldn't lament that we're in the age of Kali, that we're in such a chaotic age, but we can take advantage, and that's what it means to be a Paramahamsa. Do not get involved, overly absorbed in the external ongoings of this world, which are sure to depress everyone. But find the essence, and that essence is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, the Hare Krishna movement. That if anyone from any background, any age, Prabhupada says women, children, men, everyone, if they take to it, then they will relish the nectar that they're always anxious for, right? Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtan. That we're always looking for this happiness, for this nectar. So if we take to the chanting of Hare Krishna, we will experience that. And part of that experience is that first we'll realize we're not our body. We're not, like there's ageism, there's all types of whatever, racism, ageism, sexism, they're all based on the body. So we'll realize we're not our body, but we're the soul. And after that, we'll realize that we're servants of Krishna, and that's actually our real happiness. Our real happiness is connecting with the reservoir of pleasure Krishna, Govinda, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karna Karanam. So Krishna, the cause of all causes, supreme, beautiful person with the body of eternality, knowledge, and bliss. So if we connect with Krishna through the process of chanting the holy names, then we'll be completely above Kali Yuga, the influences of Kali Yuga. We don't have to be, we don't have to feel like we're in Kali Yuga. We could feel like we're in the spiritual world by the chanting of Hare Krishna. And as stated in the purport, only an unfortunate and irrational person will neglect this transcendental opportunity. So we should be fortunate, we should be rational, and we should take the opportunity and try to find the essence, try to dive deep into Krishna consciousness. And soon we'll be having Gaur Purnima, the celebration of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance here at the temple. I won't be here with you all, but I'm sure you'll have it. So it's a wonderful time to meditate on Lord Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya's mercy, the chanting of Hare Krishna. So does anybody have any comments or questions? We're going to show a video also, I was told. 10-minute video announcing a recent book. But anyways, does anybody have any questions or comments? Yes?
How do you convince the people, some things like that happy, they don't have any issues in life. For them, if you say that the real happiness and the real problems of the life, like 4 problems of everything, being character and then nobody, it's common to everyone. But they say it's a due course of time, everybody has to face that. Why do I have to think about it? Why do I have to feel bad about it? I don't care. I'm happy. How do you convince them?
That's the problem. People, they have a certain conception of happiness, which, according to conceptions of Srimad Bhagavatam and other books, it's considered like not happiness. It's not considered happiness. I mean, a very intense example is given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And the examples given, they call it waterboarding. It was a type of punishment. That was really terrible, actually. But what they do to punish someone is they take them in a boat and then they submerge. They grab them by the head and submerge in the water. And as soon as they're about to expire, then they lift them up, and then the person takes a breath of air, like relief, and then again plunge. So, in material existence, one may get some relief. Like, what's the whole? People go downtown and go drinking, bar scene, and all that. What is that? They're trying to get relief from their suffering. So they're suffering all week, and then they go on the weekend and have a good time at the bar. It's like a gasp of air. But again, suffering. Now, of course, it sounds like a very intense example. It is. But it's interesting because actually all living entities, even a should probably give an example of a hog, just eating all types of abominable. They think, oh, I'm enjoying so much. But those are some points, and I wouldn't necessarily tell it to someone, as the first time. But what you could tell them is that there's a difference between happiness as we know it in the material world in ananda or bliss. And the happiness in the material world it's temporary, it's fleeting, it's not ever increasing, but the happiness in spiritual life is ever increasing. And you could encourage them to try it. You could say you don't have to believe me, you don't even have to believe the statements of Bhagavad Gita right off the bat. I mean, actually in the whole Bhagavad Gita there's no place where Krishna says, oh, believe in me. He actually gives logical reasons why, and he lets the person make the decision. So you just give as many logical reasons as possible, and you could say, please, you could experiment with it. But ultimately it's up to the soul. Do they want to do that? And if they don't want to do it, then there's nothing we could really do at the time. We could pray for the person. Actually, we can do that, pray. But our business, we just encourage, and then what else can we do? And then they have to take the steps. But but if people do take the steps, we'll see. But it is quite unfortunate. I mean, when people say, "Oh, I'm happy." I mean, they may have some sense of happiness, but it's unfortunate in the sense that there's so much more in the realm of happiness that they just don't know about and that they're neglecting. It's really unfortunate. So yeah, we could try to encourage them, and hopefully. Yes. All right. Does anybody have any other questions, comments? Okay. Yes.
So Prabhu, have you heard of this golden age of Lord Chaitanya?
Yes, I have.
And have you heard? So I've heard it, and then I've heard some people say that question whether it's substantiated. So anyway, what do you have anything to say about it?
Oh, whether it's actually like a real thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. There are quotes from Srila Prabhupada about that. It says a 10,000 years golden age period. Of course, there's different understandings of what that exactly means. Does that mean like everyone's going to be Krishna conscious and everyone's going to chant Hare Krishna? Is that what it means? One time, Srila Prabhupada was talking to a reporter in Los Angeles, and the person was quite challenging Srila Prabhupada in so many ways. And then he was challenging and he said, what if everyone became Krishna conscious like you? How would society go on? And all that, right? And then Srila Prabhupada, he said, don't worry. He said, there'll always be fools like you who don't become Krishna conscious. So to think that like everyone's going to be Krishna conscious, everyone's going to chant Hare Krishna, some devotees have that idea. I can say in some ways it's hard to imagine. And there's another idea that I've heard how devotees explain this, that like in a river, the current is going one way, but sometimes there's a cross current another way. So the idea is that there'll be large percentages of people chanting Hare Krishna, taken to the Sankirtan movement, and in pockets around the world where that's going on, that will be the golden age time, a time where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's influence in the Hare Krishna mantra is really spreading. But simultaneously, there'll be another current, the current of Kali Yuga. And then after that, 10,000 years, it's all downhill. And Srila Prabhupada would say, oh, you could stay and see the fun. But there are statements like that by Srila Prabhupada. Statements also about his books being the law books for the next 10,000 years. Does anybody have any other? Yes. I knew you had a question.
No, I was
I know.
thinking
I-
of
I-
question. So it's not related to the topic today.
Okay.
So in one verse, Krishna says that if you surrender to me, right, I'll take care of all your karmas.
Yes.
But then in other areas, I hear that okay, you still have to go through your past karmas. So there's a contentious like. Can you explain that?
Yeah. That's, so, yeah, in Sarvadhamma Pritijamame Kamshuranamraja, Krishna says that if you just surrender unto me, then I will protect you from all sinful reactions. So a devotee, once they surrender to Krishna, they're not really under the laws of karma like an ordinary person is, but they're under the protection and control of Krishna. So when devotees suffer, and you could say what seems to be a sinful reaction, that's actually personally directed by Krishna, and it's meant to, you could say, purify that devotee and bring them to higher state of Krishna consciousness and remove any last vestiges of material contamination or the enjoying spirit in their heart. So yeah, they're not under the control. Now, of course, if they, accidentally do sinful activities or not accidentally, but the idea is they're under the control of Krishna. They're not like an ordinary person. And even if one falls down, it means one leaves Krishna consciousness, stops chanting Hare Krishna, stops going to the temple, stops. And they just fall into illusion. Illusion in the mode of goodness, illusion in the mode of ignorance or passion, whatever. They fall into illusion. Then it says that in the early part of the Bhagavatam that in the back of their mind they're always thinking about the pleasure that comes from Krishna. So that, but it's brought up there that they're not like an ordinary conditioned soul. So that's the idea. And these points are brought up in different sections of the Bhagavatam, like the 10th canto, Lord Brahma's prayers, and different places. I could give you references if you want. If you just text me, I could share some references and purports with you, if you're interested. All right, any other questions or comments? Yes.
So you know the story of Ramanujacharya, when he heard from his guru, Om Namo Narayana, so he wanted to keep it not secret. He went on top of the temple, he just proclaimed holy, holy. So we understand Tattva perspective, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears as Chandra, it's a secret. Is there any other reason why it is so powerful, so pure, why some feelings should be kept secret?
Okay. Yeah, so Ramanujacharya, he distributed the Om Namo Narayana, right, on top of the hill, temple, when his guru told him not to. And then his guru said, you have the real understanding. He actually appreciated that act because he wasn't thinking in a selfish way, but he was trying to liberate other living entities. But in terms of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance being hidden, I mean, one thing is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming in the mood of a devotee, and he's generally, he actually doesn't like being referred to as the personality of Godhead, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He wants to be a devotee. He comes as a devotee, the best in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And therefore he takes that golden hue, complexion. And when people would refer to him as Vishnu, he'd actually close his ears, and he wouldn't accept it. So he has a certain bhav or certain emotion he wants to experience. And I mean, there are cases like, for example, the Mahaprakash, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displays his godhood, and he's giving benedictions, right, to everyone. Murari Gupta, right, he says, "You're Hanuman," and then there's the whole descriptions. Haridas Thakur and so on. So that could be a reason. I mean, I haven't specifically read. I don't remember reading anything or hearing anything on reasons why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's is hidden. But although, he's known as the hidden avatar, Srila Prabhupada coming, he spread his name all over the world, and spread his message all over the world, and gradually he was becoming more and more famous, right? So it's interesting because he's hidden, right, as an avatar, but nowadays, all throughout the world, he's very well known. So anyways, those are some points. I think it's time to show this, right? I should say something?
Yes.
Yes, okay. All right, so this, thank you all very much, by the way, Hare Krishna. This is a book, Dancing White Elephants. It's a book written by His Holiness Giriraj Swami. And what it is, it's his travels with Srila Prabhupada from 1970, August, to 1972, March. And it's very wonderful. They're traveling all over India together with a number of other devotees. And Srila Prabhupada's, like for example, they go to the Kumbh Mela, and anyways, they go to so many places, and there's so many wonderful pastimes there where Prabhupada's spreading Krishna consciousness throughout India. So it's very important to read such books. My personal habit is that whenever a book comes out about Srila Prabhupada, I immediately get it and I read it. Because reading such books, that will inspire us in Krishna consciousness. If we want to be inspired, we should read about Srila Prabhupada or hear about it. It's the best way to be inspired in Krishna consciousness. So this book is available. It just came to Columbus. And there's copies available. You could talk with. And they'll also show a video here about it. So, okay, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, this video is about.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I've had this book, and like when I pick it up, I can't stop reading it. It's really good. So
That's what Malati says too.
testimony, yeah.
Page turner.
Yeah, Malati Mataji, like our GBC Columbus Temple, she is the forward for this the book as well. So this is a short one. I just read one, and also Mataji also gave a forward here in the video as well. This video is about like all the Giriraj Swami Maharaj books he wrote until so far. Just a short description of what is the book about, what others are actually talking about all the books. It's 12 minutes, so just watch this. So after this, I'll going to display our books at the back of the temple.